took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon.
PT made quite a mark on horror fans when it was simultaneously announced and launched on the 12th of August 2014. It felt like a rare horror experience in gaming. No weapons, no lengthy explanations or cutscenes. Just great production values, a looping L-shaped corridor, a malevolent presence called Lisa, and a tangled mystery for players to uncover. Its impact was so huge that even after it was unmasked like some sort of Scooby-Doo villain to actually be a new entry into the Silent Hill series, directed by Hideo Kojima and starring Norman Reedus, and even after that title was unceremoniously cancelled after Kojima's dramatic departure from Konami, its legend lives on. Gamers are still chasing the experience PT could have been, especially after it was removed from the PlayStation Store. Now, PS4s with PT still installed are sold for upwards of £700 online, adding to its urban legend status. But some games are attempting to fill the void PT has left. For a long time, self-proclaimed spiritual successor Alison Road was expected to be the next PT, but a troubled and budget production has meant that the game has dropped off the radar and may be permanently cancelled. Yet, there is a game out there offering a seriously PT experience that you can play right now. That game is Visage, and here are 5 reasons you'll want to turn off all your lights and play it right now. Just like the doomed Silent Hill's playable teaser PT, Visage technically takes place in one location, a huge and spooky old house where seemingly a lot of bad things have happened. You play as Dwayne Anderson, and aside from a very troubling opening cutscene and a concerned voicemail from an elderly neighbour, there's not a lot we know about Dwayne. Visage is divided into chapters, each of which focuses on a different former occupant of the house, which twists and changes to fit their dark desires. So over time, you'll become familiar with the house's labyrinth-like layout, but that doesn't mean you'll always know what to expect when you open a door or turn a corridor. Visage is currently in Steam Early Access, and 2 chapters are available to play right now. Developer Sad Square has said that 4 chapters will be included at full release, and after that, who knows? What's interesting is, the 2 chapters available currently, Lucy and Dolores, are tonally very different. The gameplay is the same. You're exploring the house, trying to keep your sanity in check as you're collecting up key items to advance the game while storing dynamic items to let you replace broken light bulbs or light candles to keep the darkness at bay, but you're subjected to different kinds of terror based on what the ghost in question is trying to show or tell you. And sometimes, they aren't even the being you really need to be worried about. Visage is sneaky. Like PT, it doesn't constantly throw scares your way. In fact, there are very, very few jump scares. Instead, you'll be walking, well, more likely tiptoeing around an empty house that looks like the inhabitants just popped out to the shops for a second. There's dishes piled up in the sink, toys on the floor, washing up folded, ready to be put away. Enough to make you feel like you're intruding on someone's painfully ordinary life. Then, a TV will come on, showing only static. Or a radio might suddenly blare a news announcement. Or lights will fizzle out in a second, leaving you staring at a long, empty corridor and wondering whether something is watching you from the darkness. Like that moment in PT where Lisa silently stares down at you from above, these scares force you to stop, look, and listen to the thundering silence as your brain races to figure out if you're in immediate danger. With its unsettling atmosphere, Visage focuses on a gradual increase in tension rather than making you dread jump scares around every corner. At some points, you might even get cocky, sprinting around the house dual-wielding lighters in a period of relative calm. But when jump scares come, they're horrifyingly inventive. We won't spoil any of them here, but just don't let your guard down, okay? Lisa definitely isn't particularly fond of you in PT, that much is certain. She watches you from afar before literally following in your footsteps and, of course, straight up attacks you every now and again. In Visage, the ghosts can certainly snuff you out in seconds, but they're not always malicious. Sometimes, they even ask for your help. Running to get one of them some tea bags, we're not even kidding, or finding someone's lost child quietly changes how you think about these ghosts stuck in the house with you. Number 1, don't always bet that they'll try to kill you. Number 2, instead of being purely malevolent, the ghosts are just as fickle as real people. When you see them lurking in the house, it's anyone's guess whether they're going to help you or treat you to one hell of a fright. All that adds to the undercurrent of uneasiness bubbling through the entirety of Visage, as you can never be sure who to trust or when to trust them. You get the feeling these ghosts have a motive. They aren't just trying to scare you, they're trying to teach you. PT didn't shove its story in your face. Questions about why Lisa haunts you, who you even are, and what the hell is going on were all down to you to piece together with subtle contextual clues and hopefully, eventually, answer for yourself. Photos in the corridors hinted that there was a husband who murdered his possibly pregnant wife Lisa, but nothing is ever confirmed by PT itself. No voiceover explaining the events in detail, no neat cutscene tying it all together, nothing. Visage isn't as hands-off with its storytelling, but it does hide most of its backstory in the shadows. During one chapter named Dolores, you can find tapes that give you her husband George's perspective on what she was like when she was alive, and studying certain photos or even her bedroom gives you hints about the kind of person she was, and what happened to her, and her suspiciously absent husband. Not only does it make you feel a little bit smarter when you figure this stuff out for yourself without being spoon-fed, but these extra details make you feel closer to, and dare I say even a little bit sorry for, the spirits that you encounter. It would be too easy to just paint all the ghosts as evil monsters bent on hunting you down. What's more difficult for a game to pull off is succeeding in making you feel sorry for these beings while you're still being hunted and harassed by them. Good horror is all about getting lost in the story that's being told despite your fears, seeking out clues to confirm your suspicions even when that puts you in danger. That's why some of the best horror games don't arm you with weapons or special skills. Here, knowledge is your greatest offense and defense, and Visage knows this. Of course, if you want, you can bypass all that and just focus on advancing the plot without seeking out all the extra stuff. As with PT, it's completely up to you how much of Visage's story you hunt down. But be warned, also like PT, Visage isn't always going to be forthcoming with clues. Perhaps most unexpectedly, Visage actually has a sense of humour. It's rare that you encounter a spooky game that doesn't take itself incredibly seriously, for fear of breaking the tension and ruining the atmosphere it's spent so long building for its players. But sometimes, a brief moment of levity can be exactly what players need to be able to take a deep breath and continue facing their fears. Visage knows this, and it's not afraid to give people a nervous chuckle here and there, while poking fun both at itself and at the very notion of horror gaming in general. There's a brilliant moment we won't spoil involving some weaponry, there are some secret rooms you can gain access to spy on some ghosts during their downtime, and more besides. The best part is that none of these lighter touches ever spoil the actual scares. They just let you in on the fact that this game was made by people who know the genre inside and out and love it every bit as much as you do. And that's a similar sentiment that you felt with PT. It was made by a team that delighted in the unexpected, in telling stories in a way that no one had tried before and crafting an experience players weren't likely to forget for a long time. And they didn't, which means it's a shame we'll never get to see the full game PT could have been. But its legacy lives on in Visage, and honestly, if you're still mourning the loss of Lisa and her L-shaped corridor, don't. Visage is stepping up to fill those shoes in spectacular fashion. Just trust us. Don't stay in the dark on this one, and definitely don't actually stay in the dark in this one either. It's pretty bad for your health. If you enjoyed this video and want some fun content to watch as a nice relaxing chaser after all those scares, you can try out one of the videos on screen now. Or watch us as we attempt to navigate Visage's huge house ourselves. Don't forget to subscribe to Eurogamer if you like what we do, and thanks for watching. Boo! Bye.